Don't matter what he did, he was the MVP tonight.
So the Wolves have now won 6 straight games against the Nuggets, including the playoffs. And besides last night, they've not really been close. Minnesota winning by almost 18 points a game. There are nights when it's hard to fall asleep. This is why we love the NBA. Let's start with the Stars, Perk. A huge night here from Nikola Jokic and a 60-point triple-double.
And just a simple reminder that of his greatness, but also when we talk about the MVP conversation, that's beneath him. When we talk about the best player in the world conversation, that's beneath him. It's time to have different conversations about Jokic. He's already a top 20 greatest player of all time. Now you start to ask, where do he rank for as top centers?
Is that a knock-knock?
Knocking at the door at number 5. Knocking at the door at number 5. I don't have him there yet, DG, because I feel like he needs one more championship to get into that top 5. Because you have guys like, Querim. You have guys like Bill Russell, Shaq. But what he's doing right now this year, what he did last night, was a reminder that it's time to have different conversations about him outside of MVP and best player in the league. He's done that for the last 3 years.
Definitely. It's a shame that he still might not win MVP because his team's standing. But the numbers, the historic season he's had, we've seen LeBron James, he could have won it multiple times. We've seen Kobe should have gotten it a couple times. Many other guys should have gotten it. He's in the conversation with those guys that are the greatest ever, lace him up. And he should be getting his flowers, rightfully so. It's just sad to see that he's able to close out these wins with having these type of performances and his team not being higher in the standing.
But what's cool is when you're able to see 2 players go toe-to-toe. It wasn't a 60-point triple-double, but Anthony Edwards, it was a slow burn, but he really got to go in there in the 4th and overtime. What did you see on his side?
Yeah, no, he picked it up. That's what he's supposed to do. He's a star. He showed up. I mean, Julius Randle's been playing really well also, but he found his rhythm, got to the spots, not only made shots, but he made plays. He found the guys when they doubled. He got to the free throw line some, but he started knocking down his threes. Sometimes eventually a star is going to get hot. You take enough shots, stay aggressive. I love his aggressiveness. I love that he loved to take over. I still want to see him take it up just a little bit of a notch in that overtime situation where he could have been more aggressive, but he did everything he was supposed to do as a superstar player.
This was the game of the year, right, Perk?
Yeah, I think it topped the Cleveland OKC.
That one was pretty good, but it was right up there. These are the nights that it's like you're already looking forward to coming into the show the next day to be able to dissect every angle of this game. But even though last night it was the game of the year, it didn't come without some mistakes from both sides. Here's what Chris Finch had to say about Anthony Edwards being double-teamed late and the Wolves' late-game execution.
He knew it was coming, and getting off of it, I thought we'd get an advantage. Thought Julius maybe should have just let it fly on the first one, and then he kind of sidestepped. Then the one in the post in double overtime, the slip was going to be there. But yeah, Ant gave it up, and he's making the right play there.
I feel awful for Russ. That last play, we get the turnover, we don't convert, and then the foul. But it was not from a lack of effort or care. And sometimes it goes like that.
Listen, emotion make you cry sometimes, damn it. But last night was a brawl for it all. I got my boy DG up here. Combined, we got a whole lot of championships, a whole lot of finals experience. We got to talk about some of the things that we saw last night on the bad side of things. I'm going to let DG talk about Minnesota, Anthony Edwards, which he highlighted minutes ago, about how he could have been more aggressive.
Yeah, this is a situation, first time, 112 tied up. The first double team, you don't expect it coming. They try to set a horns action. Julius Randle, okay, I'll live with him taking a shot. Didn't hit the rim, but he got a decent look. Same scenario right here. Tied up, 7 seconds. You know the double team's coming. At this point, you got to know, Anthony Edwards, you got to find a counter to make sure you get the last shot. Double team comes again. He could have been way more aggressive in this situation. Just let it happen. Found his guys. They get Nickeil Alexander-Walker for the one dribble pull-up. Another shot that does not hit the rim. He's not happy with the situation. I put a lot of this on Finch and not finding counter moves to get Anthony Edwards and put him in the right positions to not get double teamed. Like you said, that nail area is where you kind of want to get him. You put him in a bad spot here. Another situation in the corner where they get a double. Next you know, turnover. Throws the ball away to Russell Westbrook. Perk, tell me what happens in this situation. It's hard for me to watch it.
Well, what happened is this, okay? One, Russ got to make that layup. That's a second grade layup right there, like textbook transition 2-on-1, and now all of a sudden you're in transition, right? So now you're trying to find man. You see guys are scrambling, and Russ, the competitive guy that he is, he closed out on the shooter, and then unfortunately he fouls him, and now all of a sudden Alexander Walker goes to the line, knocked down 3 free throws, and the rest is history. But let me tell you something about this man right here. I see the internet going crazy and blaming Russ about the loss. Yes, could he have made the layup? Absolutely. But the foul, that's just the competitive nature. He's a future Hall of Famer. By the way, he's done more this season for the Denver Nuggets on the good side of things to have them, number 3 in the Western Conference than he has on the bad side. I know we saw a historic night from Jokic last night. I know they wanted to get the win for him. But at the end of the day, man, let's not disrespect this man too much from the competitive side of things, the way he competes night in and night out. I'm pretty sure Russell Westbrook lost sleep last night behind that game.
Yeah, there was definitely some frustrations. You saw Aaron Gordon leaving the floor even before the game ended, and there's surely some things the Nuggets would like to do differently the next time they face the Wolves, again, maybe in the postseason. That had to be Steph Curry's feeling back in December, the last time the Warriors played the Grizzlies, and he didn't have a field goal. You do not want to be...
That was the first 2 threes of the fourth quarter. I definitely was thinking about Clay in Chicago. This is as close as I've been with the amount of time left. But then after that, reality check. We got to win the game, so we don't want to sabotage anything.
And of course, you know something's going on when you see Steph Curry highlights all over. Perk and I were filming something late last night here in studio, and all of a sudden we started getting these notifications. I said, Perk, we got to turn this on. My favorite was the Vince Carter meme, though, you see there. And then here now we can take some stock of the standings after those incredible games last night. The Warriors, they switched places with the Grizzlies. They moved into 5th. So, yes, that is right. They would take on the Lakers if the season ended today. Huge, though, that they got a tiebreaker with that win. Expect plenty more movement with just 1 game separating those 5 and 8 seeds. Perk, what does this win mean for Golden State?
Most impressive win of the season for Golden State since Jimmy arrived. I've been asking for that signature win. They went down there in Memphis and got it. And we know it's some beef and tension between Golden State and Memphis.
John Morant has straight up said, I don't like Lakers. And I think he feels
and they boo Draymond in there, right?
Yeah.
And so
for good reason.
You think about Memphis too. They were like they needed a win. They were competing. John Morant had one of his best games in weeks, and all of a sudden Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, both along with the Warriors have that one moment like, okay, yeah. They got that it factor.
I mean, Memphis they've been whooping, Golden State's been whooping that trick for a while now. But speaking of Jimmy, he just gives so much different looks for them. Another dynamic. As you've seen in some of those clips, they're doubling Jimmy. I'm like, how can you double Jimmy when Steph Curry's on the floor? When he has a mismatch in the post, he's one of those guys that brings a different, like he can get to the free throw line, he can do different things, but he's another guy that can draw a double team. And when you got a guy that can draw a double team, you have Steph Curry on the floor, and of course you get open the floor for Moses Moody and other guys like Podziemski to knock down threes. It makes the game that much easier. Free throw differential, which won this game for them, Jimmy, that was 28 for 28, and Jimmy's a big part of that.
They found a starting lineup. I know Steve Kerr loves to tinker with the lineup. But this starting lineup, they have found something with when it's Curry, Green, Moody, Podziemski, Butler, they're 12 and the worst allowed by the Suns in their franchise's history. So with the Suns slipping in the standings,